Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. So let's get into the fun stuff. So what we were talking about in the previous video here is basically looking for a fifth wave to the upside. And what we're looking for is basically, there's two ways we were talking about this. We were saying that there is the potential that this move here could actually be a fourth and a fifth into this high, where we look at this as a triangle in your A, B, C, D, E. And then we could actually look to complete this here. Or alternatively, we would treat this whole move as a corrective structure here, looking for this as the way forward. Now, we are looking for further evidence that we have a five-wave move to the upside here. And our target zone for this would actually be towards this 31,318 to this 30,841. So this would be one way of calculating this target. The fact is, though, if we are treating this as a 1, 2, all of this is a wave 3 into this high, this is quite an extended move. It's actually gone past that 2.618. So what we need to be on the lookout here is for that potential of a truncation. If this is a fourth wave here in this count, truncation could potentially happen at this 30,420 range. So this would be a 1-to-1 of this wave 1 here. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out on this area. Alternatively, potentially we could look to still look up into these zones. So how would we get there? So if this is the case, and now actually, let me just go through this other count first. What we're talking about as well is that rather looking at this move in that manner, we could look at this move completed into here. This basically is a five-wave move. As a third wave into this high, like I said, we could complete here. If this is the case, we'd be looking for the potential of a bigger fourth wave, but we don't really have, you know, great structure here currently for saying that this is going to play out, because if this was a complex move like this, I would have preferred it to be a more simple fourth wave within here. So this is what I'm thinking. Potentially we could still see something happen like this, where we get a W, X, and a Y. So as long as we actually stay within this channel, I will be looking out for that potential of coming back down towards this 29,468 to this 29,142 range. So this is still something we have to keep an eye out for. We could get a rejection. There is a lot of overlap currently in this move here. It could just be a W, X, and a Y, and then it looks to break to the downside. So if this is the case, we need to just be aware that we could still see this Y wave play out to the downside. For as long as we hold this 29,142, I would still be looking for this potential of this additional fifth wave to the upside here. If we did form something like this and we actually came back down here one more time, I wouldn't really like matching this anymore with this entire move, just because it would be too big at that point. So then I would be switching to, this would be my preferred count at that point. So if we were to break to the upside and we were looking for this higher target, how would we go about doing that? So I'm going to just switch this out here, and we're going to discuss that within this part of the video now. What we're looking for is, I would be treating this, either we would have to say that there's some extension playing out here, where we have some additional 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2s here. So this would look to actually push up much higher. Or alternatively, this whole move is a wave 1 as a diagonal pattern, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If this is the case, what I'd be looking for would be that potential of actually coming down deeper here towards this 30,000, to this 29,793 range. Basically, this would be valid for as long as we hold this low of this 29,637. If we continue to hold this zone, what I would still be looking for is that possibility that we could actually see a direct push to the upside here. If we do, however, face rejection down here, at this high again, and we start to break down in a bigger way, this potential zone of this 29,458 would come into play as my next zone. I would be looking for support, looking for something like this to play out to the downside. So if this is the case, what we would then be looking for is this move that we have marked out here, just starting from here, for as long as we hold that fourth wave location. We haven't invalidated the idea of this pushing directly up here. If we do get a move directly up here, what I would be looking for then would be potentially a move up past 30,745. Then we could start to argue that within here we have, some extension where this becomes 1, 2, 1, 2. This would become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this. into these high points of this 30,747. Let's see a fourth and then a fifth up into the zone. So this is going to be a key area, a target that we're looking for. We do need to be careful though, because if this is a truncation, that 30,420 is going to be an interesting area if we are looking at it in that way. The other thing we just need to be aware of, so this is, I'm going to just zoom out here a little bit and we're going to discuss some of these things. Just going to turn all of these off for a second. Basically within this is forming a bigger structure here. And what we want to see is, I'm going to just turn these on. So this would be looking at this move as a 1-2, 1-2, and then basically that we're within a bigger, third wave move here to the upside. If we are looking for that, our target range we're looking for is this white count here, this 31,780. If we do move up to that zone, we could have further confirmation of this being a fourth and a fifth, in which case, this could look to push us up for that higher target that we've been talking about for a while now. And this is that looking at this move as a bigger potential 1-2, and then we'd be looking for this 35,192. So this is very busy. Obviously, these are all the internal counts of this, but these are the key zones. If we're looking for this to be a 1-2, it's up here at this 38,750. If we're looking at this as an additional 1 and 2 here, this is going to be looking for this 35,192 range. And then basically from this area, we're going to be looking for the possibility of additional fourth and fifth waves here. And if we do reach this one, this 35,192, it would potentially be enough to push us up towards this 38K range. So we'd have to obviously continue to hold these structures and maintain these lows. If we start to lose 20,780, so it's 27,800 range, basically this would invalidate this potential of this as a 1 and a 2. And then, as soon as we start to break down past this 27,200, this would really start to fall apart as a move here. If we lose this 27,200, what I would be looking out for here on the bigger picture would be looking at the potential that within this we could just have a bigger flat correction. Now, this would be quite a tricky one. We'll be looking at this as an A wave, this is a B wave, and then this is a C wave to the downside. And potentially this could actually mean that we see a 5-wave move play out after this move completes to the upside. So even if we do get that final leg up here, and even if we do come back into this channel, we could be looking to actually push back down here for a 5-wave move, and this could look to actually complete as a bigger flat correction here. And then, from there, we would be looking for that possibility of looking to continue up. If we do form a 5-wave move down here, we'd have to be careful on the retracement. If it's only in 3 waves, it could indicate we'll have further to come to the downside. So some target zones for this would be, if I take this from this point here down to there, and I'm going to just go with the current high we have. One potential zone could be this 1618 if it's going to extend as a 1.618 multiple of the A wave. Or alternatively, another way we can look at this move is if I just throw this back down to the bottom of the A. Sometimes what we can see is a 618 target off of this A wave as a potential zone of interest. So this would be quite an interesting one. It would be around the top end of these highs here. So that could actually lead to like a back test of the zone, but it would indicate that this would have to extend out quite a lot as a C wave. So, we'd have to just be careful at that point. If we start to break down like that, some of the bearish counts that we've been looking at would potentially be coming into play. And really, we got no business coming back this low if we are treating this move as a 1-2, 1-2. If we do break down this low, we'd have to either assume that this whole move up into this high was a wave 1, and then this would become a wave 2, or alternatively, this would be a completed move here, and then we're getting some kind of a bigger corrective structure to the downside. We did talk about that potential previously, that we could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is a 5th wave. If this is the case, we'd have to be careful, because on the bigger picture here, what we would be looking out for is the fact that if I just throw on this one, the 1-to-1 of this move to the upside. So that would be looking at this move as a corrective structure. So if I come back here onto the daily, it's probably easier to do. Looking at this move from further back here, this could lead us just to have a simple ABC pattern to the upside here. and then we'd have to watch the retracement. If the retracement fails to actually hold these higher zones here, this low at this 19549, basically we could then be looking for, continuation to the downside at that point. And if we do just have a corrective structure to the upside here, it would indicate that we are potentially going to break these lows of this 15476 range. So that's going to be key if we are looking for, you know, that bullish scenario. We want to maintain this low, and preferably I'd like to see it come back down and possibly test this channel again before looking to push away to the upside again. So that's what we're looking for on the bigger scale here. But yeah, on the shorter time frames, we do have some bullish potential here, but it needs to prove itself still. At the moment, we're still sitting within this channel to the downside. So we need to see this actually break out of here and move up. As long as we fail to do so, we could actually just be, forming this move within a channel, and we could actually see this come back into some of these lows and potentially look to target out somewhere in this green box area like this, where this becomes A, B, and then we get the W, X, and a Y back down into the zone. Or alternatively, we need to continue to maintain that bullish structure we have to the upside. But really, once we start to lose the zone here of this 29739, it becomes less likely that we are going to continue this push directly to the upside here. And then I would be anticipating coming down and possibly retesting this zone of this 29547 to this 29279. So one other thing I want to talk about is, we discussed that idea that this fifth wave could potentially do something like this and complete here because of the fact of how long this was. 1 to 1 is pretty much on this mark that we've already come up to. If this is the case and we fail to hold this 29279 region, I would then be looking out for this lower box area to see whether we actually have another 1 and a 2 developing here. If this is the case, this would be very bullish, and then we could actually indicate that we're going to see a much stronger push to the upside playing out, which would look to hit all of those impulsive targets to the upside there, and basically, push us up as high as we need to get for that higher, that 38K region, for that third wave. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Check it out, it's free to join. As well as that, there are affiliate links for both Primex, BT, and BYBIT down there. Both great exchanges we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.